was just going to ask if you were able to tell us anything about what you're working on now.
I'm not working on a new book yet, but I'm finishing up shooting a TV show that called Banshee that I created for HBO that is going to be airing in January, and we're shooting 10 episodes, and we have 3 episodes left, so I'm pretty much buried in that right now. And doing a rewrite on a movie I wrote for 20th Century Fox called Kodachrome, which I hope will get made in 2013. And then I'll soon be adapting this for Paramount, because I don't learn my lesson. And then hopefully starting a new book while all that's going on. I just don't really know what I want to write about yet. So that's it. Thanks. Yes, sir.
My book club read This Is Where I Leave You, and many people enjoyed it. We had a fairly vitriolic debate about who Judd ended up with. And it got heated, so we took a secret ballot, which I think ended up in a draw.
You guys need to get out more.
And it just happened to be a Jewish book club, which added to the absurdity of it. Can you comment on, in your mind, who Judd would end up with?
So, when I was just starting out screenwriting,
somebody in Maine, or
when I was starting out as a screenwriter, which was about 3-4 years ago, the first job I had was writing a screenplay for 20th Century Fox, and at one point I actually went out there, and they wanted me there for 2 days because they were going to have all these meetings about the script. So they gave me a little office in the bungalow of Fox 2000, which is one of the divisions of Fox, and I was sitting in this office that I don't know who it belonged to, and I was just minding my own business and editing my script, and a very large man walked into the office, slammed the door behind him, and locked it, and then looked at me and said, "My name is Tom Rothman. I'm the chairman of Fox. Don't give me the bullshit answer you give everybody at your book clubs. Who does he end up with?" So I told him, what I tell everybody else is that my feeling is that he is not in any condition to end up with anyone, and his whole journey to me is learning to be okay being alone. So I would tell you that he does not end up with Jen, he does not end up with Penny. Whoever he ends up with next will not last, and I don't actually know where he ends up, and I don't ever intend to write about that, so you could actually make up an answer, and that would be just as good as anything I told you.
You thought about that, too.
Good. Yes?
You mentioned a lot with script writing. How did you get started with script writing?
I had a shortcut because I was already fairly well known as a novelist, and a handful of my books had been optioned by studios. So you get to meet producers and executives at studios, and they, their job is to find writers. So they, that whenever they came into New York, where I live, they would invite me to come out to lunch and talk, and everyone said, when you're ready to write screenplays, we'd love to find a project for you. And then, of course, when I was ready to write screenplays, nobody was interested in hiring me. But I wrote a screenplay anyway by myself. I adapted one of my books and sent it out to all the people who said they loved me so much, and nobody bought it, but from that script, they began offering me jobs, and then I just took a job that I wanted to do, and that script turned out pretty well. Hasn't been made yet, but once you've written one that people like, and you've worked with people in the industry, then other people are willing to hire you, and I just went from there. But there's no, I don't actually know how you get there. Otherwise, I don't know who you send scripts to be discovered. I've asked my agents that, and they can't give me a real answer either. It's like somebody knows somebody who knows an assistant who slips it to someone else. I don't actually know how that works.
It's all connections.
Well, I think in LA what happens is you have all these people doing all sorts of jobs, but they really want to be like the same way all the waiters are actors. So all the people who want to be writers are either assistants for producers or assistants at agencies or working, and I think the assistant network out in LA is like the most powerful network out there. If I want tickets to a show, I don't call my agent, I call the assistant, and I say, my daughter wants to see Taylor Swift, and she calls the assistant who's in charge of this, and she gets me tickets. So they pass scripts around, and they get they get people found, but I don't really know how. You know, like I said, I had a back door in, so that's better.